Hi my dear kids. Today I want to share something with you. My happiness at home. I will show some videos and pictures. Watch them very carefully. Okay? See these wild animals and some rare birds in different parts of the earth. Did you watch the video? How is it? What are they in that video? A lot of animals and birds. They are my daily visitors. That means every day they visit our house. We give them food and we give them enough freedom to go here and there, walk here and there and have the food. Nobody will block them. See this land? It is the backyard of my home. Every day a lot of animals and birds come there. Even pig come there every day at night. Last week a peacock came. They think that it is their own land. Is it correct? Is it their own land? Yes. That means each and every animal has right to live or a right to go everywhere in this earth. Who gives that freedom or right? It is God's creations. All the animals in this world have same right or equal right to live anywhere and to go anywhere. All the animals and birds are equally important. Isn't it? Okay, I'll tell something more about it. Do you remember the story that you have learned in the last year? The rightful inheritors of the earth in 6th standard. Do you remember? Whose story? Yes, Vaikam Muhammad Bashir's story. That is the Bhumi De Avakashi. Then what was that story? A word, trespassers, is mentioned in that story. What's the meaning of trespasser? Trespassers means the person or an animal or whoever it may be. They comes without others' permission. Isn't it? Yes. Who are the trespassers mentioned in that story? Yes, a lot of animals, birds, insect, crow, snake, dog, other birds, owl, bats. They are the trespassers. Do you remember it? Did you remember? Okay. Now listen. Bashir tells that all these trespassers have their own right to live in his own land. This is not my land. That is their own land. He said like that, isn't it? Yes. Just like that. In this land also, a lot of animals comes every day and that is their land. That is God creation. God give them freedom to go everywhere in this earth. Isn't it? Now I will show you a very short video. Watch it very carefully. What do you see in that video? It's a snake. Okay. I am very afraid of snake. What about you? Are you afraid of it? Okay, right. Now listen to me. Then where do we see the snakes? Usually where do we see the snake? In the playground? No. Inside the home? No. Where do they live? They live in the burrows, snake hole or burrows. And they will come outside. Where? Yes, in the forest, in the thick bushes, and among the dry leaves. isn't it? Among the dry leaves in the ground, in the land or yard, isn't it? Okay. They move through the dry leaves or the thick bushes. Right. Now I will show you a photo of a house. Watch that or see the photo very carefully. Okay. Look at this house. What do you see in the surrounding? Is it very clean? What is the in the courtyard? Is there any courtyard? What is in that courtyard? Are there a lot of trees? Are there the bushes? Or the courtyard very clean? What do you see? Yes, in the place of that courtyard we can see thick bushes, grasses. No space for the courtyard. Then is there any difficulty for having such type of thick bushes around the houses? Is there any difficulties? Okay, what do you feel? Can you tell me, is there any difficulty to have such a thick bush around it, around the houses? What about your house? Is there any thick bushes or trees or grasses very near to your house or in the place of the courtyard? Then, is there any problem? എന്തെങ്കിലും പ്രശ്നങ്ങളുണ്ടോ അങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടായാൽ? ഇത്രയും അടുത്ത് കുറേ thick bushes ഉണ്ടായാൽ, grasses ഉണ്ടായാൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഭീഷണികളുണ്ടോ? Anybody can tell? Yes. Some creatures may come to our house. Some creatures. What are the different types of creatures living in these thick bushes? Yes, mongooses, rat, snake. Yes, such type of creatures may be there. Isn't it? Am I correct? Yes. Now let's look such type of a house in our story. It's a bungalow. Let's go to that story. What happened? What happened in that place or in that bungalow? Then there are some members are the mother and some children and other servant also. What happened there? Let's go to that lesson. Okay? All of you take your textbook. Take page number 24, A Snake in the Grass. The story is about an entry of a snake into a compound. Okay? Then, what will you do if a snake entered to your compound or to your premises? What do you do? I think you may be in panic or you may be shocked. And later, you may call your father and he will come with a stick and ready to attack it. Am I correct? Yes. Okay. In this story, when a snake entered to this compound or to the premises of the bungalow, what did they do? What did they do? Let's look at it. All of you look at the book. I'll read. It was a sunny afternoon. The inmates of the bungalow were at their siesta. A cyclist rang his bell at the gate frantically and shouted, "A big cobra has got into your compound. It crossed my wheel." He pointed to its track under the gate and resumed his journey. The family consisted of a mother and her 4 sons. They were greatly agitated to hear the news. So they assembled at the gate. Their old servant Dasa was sleeping in the shed. They shook him out of his sleep and told him about the arrival of the cobra. "There isn't any cobra here," he replied, and tried to dismiss the matter. They swore at him and wanted him to be serious. "The thing is somewhere here. If it is not found before the evening, we will dismiss you. You don't seem to care of the garden." Some neighbors dropped in. They looked accusingly at Dasa. You have the laziest servant on earth, they said. You ought to keep the surroundings tidy. I have been asking for a grass cutter for months, Dasa said in one voice. They ordered him to manage with the available things and learn not to make demands. Meanwhile, more neighbors assembled. They began discussing snake menace and the dangers of snake bite. They began helping the neighbors in every possible way. They tucked up their dhotis, seized every available knife and crowbar, and began to hack the garden. Creepers, bushes, lawns were laid low. What could not be trimmed was cut to the root. The inner wall of the house brightened with unobstructed glare streaking in. When there was nothing more to be done, Dasa asked triumphantly, "Where's the snake?" Okay, I think all of you have read this passage along with me. Right, now listen. Take the same passage once again. First of all, you pause my video and take the same passage once again and read it alone. Okay, did you finish? Right, very good. Now take your pen. You should underline some words. I will tell. All of you underline these words. First one, inmates. Siesta. Next one, siesta. And third, resumed. Agitated. Assembled. Then sore. Accusingly. These are the new words in this page. Okay. Okay, next paragraph. There are some other new words. Take a pen and underline the words I'll tell. First one, menace, seized, tucked, and trimmed, unobstructed and triumphantly. Okay, first of all, you pause my video and go to that glossary page or take the dictionary and find out the meanings of all these new words and write it down in your notebook. Okay. Okay, now let's once again go to the same page. The snake in the grass. What is the time of that event taking place? This is the time. Can you tell? Yes, it's an afternoon. What were they doing? What were the inmates of that bungalow doing at that time? Inmates means the people of that bungalow. They are sleeping. They are in the siesta. Siesta means a short sleep after in afternoon. Okay. At that time, a cyclist came there and he shouted that a big cobra has entered to your compound. A big cobra has entered to your compound. When the mother and the children heard this news, they were greatly agitated or they were greatly frightened and they ran to that gate. At that time, what was Dasa doing? Yes, he was sleeping. They scolded him. They used very bad languages to scold him. And they gave him a warning. What was that warning? If it is not found before evening, they would dismiss him. At that time, all the neighbors came running and everybody accusingly at Dasa. Accusingly means everybody blamed him. Kuttapadthi. What did they tell? They told, "You are the laziest person. You are the laziest servant on the earth." Lazy, lazier, laziest. Laziest means
ഏറ്റവും ലേസി ആയിട്ടുള്ളതിനാണ് നമ്മൾ ലേസിയസ്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. യു ആർ ദ ലേസിയസ്റ്റ് സെർവൻറ്റ്. യു ഷുഡ് കീപ് ദ സറൗണ്ടിങ് ടൈഡി ഓർ ക്ലീൻ. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് യുവർ ഡ്യൂട്ടി ടു ക്ലീൻ ദ സറൗണ്ടിങ്. And everybody blamed him. And at last, what did they do? They started to clean that surrounding. They began discussing about the snake menace. Snake menace. What do you mean by snake menace? Menace means a threat or danger. ഭീഷണി എന്ന് പറയും നമ്മൾ. ആ ഭീഷണിയെക്കുറിച്ചാണ് അവർ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. They started to do that works. Which was that work? To clean the surrounding. What did they do? They took all the that means the knife and crowbar and everything they took, and they tucked their dhotis and they started their work, and they cleaned everywhere then cleaned their inner wall of the house, and also at last what did Dasa tell? He tell, where is the snake? When they cleaned all the surrounding, they could not see the snake. At that time, Dasa was very happy and he told, where is the snake? Okay, then I will give you some comprehension question, and also you should write down the textual question. You can see at the right part of that textbook in the page. You may write the textual questions answer in the space given there. Okay.